Hey everyone. You said hi to me from across the room. Solid. Hmm. Oh, my view account seems to be broken again. That makes me sad. Things are looking up in the markets today, generally speaking. Not sure why Twitter's so much lower. Hello from across the UK. Let's see. What's moved the most today against the flow? Activision's down quite a bit. Micron is down. Let's have a look at Dropbox. Ba, 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 ba. Damn it, chart. This chart. Why am I 1 minute candles? What's that about? I don't want 1 day either because I haven't been trading long enough for 1 day. Even 1 hour looks silly. Interesting. Ethereum down. Why has Ether dropped so much? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure because you would think the Coinbase news about ERC20 support would be helping Ethereum prices right now. Let's go see if there's anything obvious on my chart for it. He says, if I remember right, I haven't changed my Ethereum chart in a few days. I want a 4-hour full screen. Oh, that is not a good place to be for Ethereum, is it? Not a good place to be at all. Now this could be interesting then. Could be very interesting to see if this holds for Ethereum. I mentioned in the thread earlier that I think EOS and Cardano are partially to blame for Ethereum struggling so much recently. Yeah, that's really not a healthy place for Ethereum to be sitting up here at all. RSI is oversold on the daily chart, so that's pretty substantial. And on the 4-hour chart almost. So that's pretty substantial suggestion that a bull move could be on back up to the top of this area, or maybe up to this level here, which seems to have set itself a support. There's nothing else backing that support level up, actually. Kind of interesting. There's like a little bit over here and here. I love me a support resistance level. It's all you need when you're trading. Those fancy wavy lines. To be fair, I should probably add moving averages on again at some point. I should get rid of the MACD because I just don't use it so much in my trading style anymore. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of tempted to put a small buy in here with some of the spare funds I've got. I think I will. Just a small one. Oversold on the daily. It can't, yeah, like that's an opportunity not worth missing, I don't think. Because the others aren't oversold on the daily. Right, let's go to Litecoin. Go daily. Yeah, see, look, Litecoin is nowhere near as oversold. Interesting though, because the angles here are quite different. So Litecoin looks like it's going to break out of that as well. That's nowhere near as strong though. You can see it's only drawn from here, so it's only really using back here and here as a guide, whereas this is like the proper long-term trend line at the bottom. What else can we check? Bitcoin. Bitcoin I know about. Bitcoin's fine. Maybe it's just more people moving back towards Bitcoin and kind of consolidating. People don't trust Ethereum and stuff as much as they used to. I think now now would be a mistake closing them right now on Ethereum if Ethereum is what you're talking about. If I were you, then I would probably wait 1 or 2 days just to see which side of that line it goes. To see if it does break down from here. Ooh, I have horrible buzzing sound in my ears. What's caused that? Oh, weird, it's gone. That was very weird. Yeah, it seems like we're on a support level and on this long-term trend. That is a pretty substantial long-term trend as well. Not one I would want to mess with. I might have drawn that slightly wrong though, looking at it. Go back on 1 day. Can I share a stop loss secret with you? Promise not to tell. It sounds like one of the one of those things. I'm on the wrong screen. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so bad. I'm so bad at this. Soz. Soz. Okay, okay. I'll go through it again. So this is the Ethereum chart, ETH US dollar, on Bittrex. I should probably consolidate where I'm getting all these prices from though, because yeah, I actually drew this slightly wrong because you can see it wasn't lining up with all of the candles along the bottom, whereas now it is. So we have this long-term trend line along the bottom, which is where we're butting up against now. We're also up against this support level. And on the RSI down here, we're oversold on the daily chart. So that's pretty big. Like you don't, the daily chart is like, you know, the longer the time frame, the more, I guess, the more ammunition you have to support your theories. 4-hour chart. So this we're on 4 hours now. And yeah, you can see that we've only just overlapped it, and we've had a couple of small little green candles down here. And this one appears to be forming a hammer candle. You can see quite a long stalk here. It's hard to see because of the volume bar. It's like right below it, kind of overlapping it. But yeah, you can see that we're sort of forming a hammer. So that plus the support level, plus this long-term trend line, plus the RSI, which is still pretty low even on the 4-hour. Yeah, I opened a position just now on it, as you saw over here, because I think it's worth a small punt of riding back up to 520 or so, maybe even higher, to be honest. Like, it wouldn't surprise me too much if we got up to like 550 or so up here, in maybe 3 or 4 days. Perhaps by the end of this week, perhaps on the weekend. Yeah. But if I show it compared to some of the other cryptos, so that was Ethereum. Ethereum's up here in this corner, and then here, one that's like really badly positioned, is Litecoin. So on the daily for Litecoin now. And again, like this trend line has got way less backing up. It's literally just lined up with these and this. So it could pretty much just be discounted, really. I was just I guess I drew it to see if it would mean anything, but it doesn't really look like it has. Like I think that's probably how I had it drawn the first time, and you can kind of see that it's broken down from there. Now it's sitting on this support line. So Litecoin I'm pretty unsure about because I just don't trust my lines on it so much. And on the daily, it's nowhere near oversold, whereas Ethereum is 4 hours. It's a bit closer to oversold. So you can see this green candle here. So that's a pretty good bet for the next few days, but not as good as Ethereum. Let's go to something else. So look at Bitcoin. Oh, why have I put Ethereum over here? I don't want that over here. I want Bitcoin over here. Okay. Sorry, I'm chatting to myself. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, Bitcoin I feel is definitely the strongest at the moment. Perhaps among all of the fear and stuff that's going on. I'm going to delete all these white lines at the bottom because I only drew these support levels in to post a picture for someone who is questioning Bitcoin going down to like 1K and there's no support left, and I'm like, there's a lot of support left. There's like lines and lines and lines of support for Bitcoin. Okay, so that's a little bit cleaner. Oh no, don't want to do that. But yeah, so Bitcoin is the interesting one, I think, the most interesting. Like, look at this. So on the daily chart, we're pretty much bang in the middle. 4-hour chart, slightly closer to the bottom. But yeah, which way is this going to go? I guess it's as good as mine at this point. Obviously, this trend line here is basically just kind of showing what these ones are connecting to. So I consider this a bit of a breakout attempt potentially. Same up here, same up here. So we've had 3 of these kind of bull movements that went over that trend line. But effectively, really, I think the next 2 weeks is crunch time because all of these long-term trend lines that have been, 3-4 months coming, this one has been since December, are finally going to collide. And this one, look at this. This goes all the way back to August last year. Are finally going to collide, and we're going to see which way it moves. Fundamentally, as most of you probably know, there's really nothing suggesting prices should be going down at the moment. There's a lot of generally good news out there, a lot of development going on. So, yeah. You can still change stop loss if you want. It's not that difficult. Really? It's very quiet chat today. Hashtag DevTools. Yeah, I've had a couple of people who have created like plugins and things like that and mentioned them to me, but obviously I'm not going to trust some third-party software with millions of dollars, unfortunately. Not to mention that it would be breaking eToro's terms of service. I just hope that we can convince them to bring them back at some point, to be honest. Everyone is tired and need a holiday. Yeah. I get that feeling. I was really hyped earlier. You should have seen me this morning. I had some tunes on. I was buzzing. Ask Jesse. When the markets opened, I was like, yeah, sell that, buy this. Oh man, so many. Cryptocurrency is not Bitcoin. Like Bunny Token. Oh my god, Bunny Token. Swear to God. If I get one more advertisement for Bunny Token. Well, what do you mean by fraudulent? Schnuit. Schnuit? Something like that. I'm going to call you Schnuit. I hope it's correct. What do you mean by fraudulent? I think that's the question. I'll answer your question in a minute, Flybreaker, as well. Massive short on purpose. Yeah, the manipulation. I don't know, to be honest. I feel like at some point soon it's going to end up getting investigated. It has to. Like it really seems so suspicious. Like everyone I know who trades it thinks there's something weird going on. It'd be interesting to see what Wesley and some of the other PIs think. Actually, I might ask Mr. Thor. He's usually got a pretty good eye for that kind of stuff. I don't know. At the end of the day, the underlying tech in that company and their performance over the past 2 years has been very strong. They've beaten every single earnings report target that they've had for the past year and a half, I think. Some of them substantially, some of them a bit more narrowly. Yeah, and Epic is still ramping up. Something like server CPUs is not something that you can just jump into and have good success. So it'll be interesting to find out, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking with it. Like as I said, I don't think you can manipulate it down forever. Eventually, the analysts are going to go and upgrade it, and at that point, or reinforce their ratings on it, and at that point, we should see it move. That's interesting, actually. Let's have a look and see how the analysts are rating it. Because eToro has this cool research tab. Why am I not signed in? What? Oh. Okay. No, go away. That was why did it sign me out? What's that about? AMD. Also, why did I need to be signed in to go on the research tab for AMD? Okay, research. Yeah, see, even the analysts, like you look at that, and we're below the average price target substantially. The problem with the ratings on here, I tend to find, is that I think it keeps a lot of data that's slightly out of date. Maybe it doesn't. Yeah, well, that one's pretty out of date. So yeah, I think if you get rid of some of the older some of the older ones. Like I mean, I would personally make it like a rolling 6 months or something that it cuts out older estimates. $7.50. But like, look at that, $27. $20, $18. Like, it's so weird. How can Citigroup say $7, and then up here we have $27? Like, how are those so far apart? Like, they're what, 2 months apart in terms of when they were priced? Morgan Stanley. It just, it's weird. It seems like it's mainly like the major banks that are negative on it. Oh my god, where am I going? AMD. Yeah, it might be interesting to keep an eye on that, actually. It's a good point, Rob. I was about to say, it seems like it's the major banks. If you look at it, you know, you've got Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Deutsche Bank is on a hold at $12. And to be fair, the 5th of January was like the little uptick we saw right at the start of the year before the markets corrected. So it was probably sitting at like 12.50 at the point when they said sell. So that's not necessarily super unreasonable. Again, look, Barclays. What's going on? Weird. And all of the smaller guys seem optimistic. Although Merrill Lynch, it's up here. Very peculiar. Yeah, maybe. It could well be. I've never really trusted analyst ratings, to be honest. Like, maybe it's just ever since I watched The Big Short. I don't know, but I've never trusted analyst ratings. They seem to be wrong just as much as they're right. Yes, I've seen that link, Hobby Mad, and again, it shows a lack of understanding. I think because Bitmain pretty much focus on SHA-256 mining algorithms almost exclusively, and graphics cards are not used for SHA-256 anymore because of that, and they haven't been for years. There is nobody who is using a graphics card right now to mine Bitcoin unless they are insane. If you have a graphics card, you are probably mining Monero or you are mining Ethereum or something like that. So, yeah, just ignore that article. To be honest, it really just demonstrates a lack of understanding of the underlying way that mining works, basically, and the different types of mining. It's not going to affect AMD badly. There are so many still strong cryptocurrencies that use GPU-friendly mining algorithms, and even CPU-friendly, some of them. The X3 is interesting. I mean, ASIC boost is only a thing for a few cryptocurrencies anyway. Any cryptocurrency with any self-respect has been implementing SegWit and Lightning Network and other similar fixes for those problems. There you go. Thanks for keeping the stock alive, Rob. We appreciate your 10 graphics card purchase. Oh, Tesla's below $300. Yeah, possibly. I mentioned it in my post the other day. I think I mentioned it. Um, that I was looking around at some of the other cars being released, some of the other electric vehicles from like Audi and Nissan, a few others, as in like upcoming ones, Mercedes, and nothing really strikes me as that big of a competition yet. Yet is the key word, but I feel like Tesla's got another year pretty much of very, very easy easy competition. As long as they can just fix their their manufacturing issues and actually produce the Model 3s, because mine's not due until 2019, and you know that makes me sad. Although I can't drive, so I should probably learn. Profit minus 10k. Yeah, I also thought it was very strange that Nvidia and AMD decided to ignore mining for so long, and AMD have been more dismissive than Nvidia have. Nvidia actually have produced a card specifically for mining. They announced it in summer last year, I think. But yeah, there's no denying that it's driven up GPU prices. It's kind of a double-edged sword in some ways, though, because although GPU prices have gone up, AMD and Nvidia aren't really seeing that money. It's the retailers in the middle that are seeing it. It's still useful because they're selling all of their stock. They're easily shifting all of their inventory. But yeah, no, I opened a short with 2 times leverage on Facebook at the actual worst possible time, I think. Um, I'm still really confident that it's going to drop further. I like the number of advertisers pulling out, the amount of like insane drama that's going on in the UK surrounding Facebook, especially. I don't see it coming out of this with only let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a measure, because it's not that big of a drop considering where it is at the moment. Let's come back over here. Okay, it's still pretty big drop, but okay. So here we are. This is Facebook. Let's full screen it. Why am I on a 30-minute chart? That's not particularly useful. Okay, so the news broke up here. That's where the news broke. So this is where it was trading. And bear in mind that the entire market has also dropped during this period as well. Ooh, helps if I actually click. No, I did it wrong. I'm bad at measuring. Why do I always do this? Okay, here we go. So currently on this green line here. So currently it's minus 14%. And I would say that minus about 6% of that is pretty much in line with where the rest of the market has fallen as well. So really it's lost about 8%. And that seems very low considering that there are some pretty big companies now just literally boycotting Facebook and boycotting Facebook advertisements. Not to mention that they were already losing users. Like their last earnings report, I purposely avoided Facebook and said that I think they're going to lose users, and they did. You can see, so this is their earnings report here, and there was a big drop because they lost a lot of users for the first time. And there's no way that they're going to get to this earnings report and not lose a bunch more users. There's no way. Yeah, Elon deleted his companies off Facebook. There have been a few other companies that have said that they're not going to be advertising on Facebook. Yeah, I never use Facebook anymore. The only time I ever log into it is to post on my my jaynemesis eToro page. Basically, that's it. Like, if any of you have me on Facebook and go on my page, you'll see that I've not posted anything in about 6 months because it's just pointless. The interesting thing is that Facebook have been very, very smart in in making Facebook something very difficult to remove, because I use Facebook to log into about 5 or 6 different websites because it was convenient and there were tiny little websites that I didn't think I'd use very much. So I was like, oh, I'll just log in with Facebook. And of course, most of those websites don't allow you to then convert that. So I would have to go and re-register and stuff. So like, there's all these little things, and obviously Messenger and Instagram, WhatsApp, are all connected in some way. So they've made it pretty difficult to actually purposely boycott just Facebook and not the other products by Facebook. So yeah, it's interesting, but I think I'm confident enough to hold on to this short until this earnings report. Like it's a long way. It's like just over a month, but I cannot see them earning the same revenue or higher from advertising during this period. And I also cannot see any user growth at all. I think we will see a magnification of the several million users that they lost last earnings report. So yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it because I think the potential highest kind of upside for it, I reckon, is probably a bounce up to around here, which we can see from this candle is where it actually did hit for a little bit earlier today before it sunk back down a bit. So yeah, I'm probably going to hold on to it. I think if it heads up to this level, I'll probably open another short. It heads up to like 170 region, but I don't think it will head that high, to be honest. I'd be very surprised. Yeah, you've got to consider that just after the earnings report, this is where the market thought it should be valued. So to drop that distance is not very far at all, in my opinion. In my opinion. I think they will kill themselves. Yeah. All right, there's been an ongoing kind of campaign against how they handle pages and what shows up for people anyway, because you can follow a page and then never see anything posted by it because it selects a certain number of people to show it to each time. And so what happens is if you get any bots following you, or any fake accounts following you on Facebook, then actually you end up wasting a bunch of resources advertising to users that don't exist because it only shows it to a portion of your users, not all of them. There's a bunch of stuff wrong with Facebook, how Facebook handles pages and advertising and how it handles the feed and stuff. So yeah, but it's also why I'm more long Twitter as well. And down at this price, I'm gonna get some more. Yeah, at this price, I'm definitely gonna go get some more because the thing about Twitter is that it's so upfront. It's so upfront as a platform. Like I mentioned it in my posts. There is no suggestion that anything you do on Twitter will be private, really, apart from DMs. Because the entire point of Twitter is that everyone sees it. You make a post, it is public for everyone. And so the idea that someone could be scalping that information and trying to sell you things or trying to use it in some way, I think is common knowledge, because if you make something entirely public on the internet and it's 140 characters long, or 200 and whatever, it seems really obvious that bots would just come and pick up on that anyway, and I don't think anyone would expect their data then not to be mined by someone. So I think Twitter should survive pretty well out of it because, they sell, even if they did sell the data to Cambridge Analytica from Twitter, so what? Cambridge Analytica could just go mine it themselves if they wanted to. So that's my theory on it, I guess. It's my stance on it. But anyway, I'm happy to open another position in Twitter. Especially if Facebook does start shedding users as well. I think Twitter will probably get a few more. Not that Twitter is perfect by any stretch of the imagination. What do I think about Litecoin after the news yesterday? Ah, it's interesting. I was on the Dash Reddit, and they were saying, "Oh look, they got streamed," because of course Dash has been through this before. They funded a big project via the DAO for a Dash Pay style system that would link up to debit cards and things like that. And the guy who was meant to do it, who is Charlie Shreem, who, if you've been in crypto for a long time, you probably know that name, just disappeared with the money and took it. So yeah, it is what it is. It doesn't surprise me. I was someone that was actively saying I don't care about LightPay. I think it's overhyped. I don't know why everyone's going on about it, to be honest. No one talks about BitPay with regards to Bitcoin anymore. No one cares, honestly, because there are so many payment providers you can use now. It doesn't matter. We're not where we were 3 years ago. You can use Square and you can use, I don't know. There's a bunch of different options out there now. Ooh, uptime. Is uptime meant to do something? I can tell you how long I've been streaming for if you want. It's 36 minutes and 58 seconds. Did I take the eToro MasterCard? No, because I'm a popular investor, so why would I want to purposely pull money out of my trading account? I can understand why other people would do it, I guess. Although even then, honestly, the transfers out of the account are fast enough that, yeah, it's a cool option. I guess I could do it from my second account, but yeah, it's just another card I have to carry around. So many people talking about this death cross, like it's the only indicator in the world. It's funny as well because like I swear this is the first time I've ever heard it be called a death cross. I've always heard it like I've always heard of crossovers and stuff in moving averages. It's like one of the first things I learned for technical analysis. But a death cross is just like what? Why is everyone calling it that? Is that a thing? Has that always been a thing? I'm gonna Google it. Maybe it is always called a death cross. Yeah. I've always just called it a crossover. Weird. Very weird. I wonder why. I use Investopedia as well, so I would have thought here is the place that I would have seen it. Just called a crossover. Anyway. Anyway. Yeah, I honestly I don't really buy into the Death Cross stuff that much. I mean, like, I guess the indicators I have are showing a similar story anyway, potentially. I think the start of the Ethereum decline was definitely due to the banning of advertising everywhere for ICOs and the increased competition from EOS and Cardano. There's a lot of projects that are moving over to EOS, and I expect when they can, they will also move over to Cardano. So yeah, I guess I think it's a combination of that, the lack of news really from Ethereum recently. Like a year ago, there was so much talk about Casper and sharding and plasma and all these different technologies that they're working on, and there hasn't really been much noise about it recently. Vitalik's been a bit more quiet recently. So I guess maybe there's just a bunch of people that have become disillusioned with it, perhaps. It's hard to say, honestly. But you're right, like Ethereum has definitely performed worse. I mean, looking at my portfolio, like most of my funds is in Bitcoin, like substantially more in Bitcoin than anything else. And I have this one cheeky position which is still doing pretty well. I'd like to point out that I opened earlier while streaming. Yeah. Snapchat's begging for a second short as well. Absolutely begging for it. Let's go and have a look. Snapchat. I think I have it open. I do. See, I was thinking about it here as well because. Ugh. Why are my lines drawn so weirdly here? This definitely should be here. Not really enough data. Actually, there is this long-term bit over here, I guess. Go on to like a 4-hour. Oh, that's probably why I drew it there. It looks a bit different on 4-hour. That seems like a pretty strong one. Is there one here? I'm not convinced. It is, it's like quite weak. Yeah, I think I'm going to open another short on them. It's a little bit late in the move. But with the uncertainty around the markets overall, I feel like, oh, did I run out of money? Did I spend money on everything else? Oh, I can't because I put it all in Twitter and that Ethereum position. And something else. What else did I put it in? Sony. I opened a position in Sony as well. Oh, that makes me sad. Yeah, their new release didn't go down very well at all. I think Snapchat is just a bad product, to be honest. I don't think they can monetize anything like enough. I just don't understand it. I really don't. It's so easily replicated. I'm amazed no one else has really even tried to. I mean, Telegram I think has messages that you can like choose to delete and things like that. But obviously it's not structured the same. It's not so quote intuitive. I mean, to me, Snapchat isn't intuitive at all. I think it's a bit shit. But I guess like I don't know, millennials like it with like the weird swiping and things. I don't know much about it to be honest. I don't know. I don't know. I just think Snapchat is absolute fucking junk. I'm sorry, but like and like they just have no plan. Have you seen the spectacle thing that they worked on? How much did they spend on that? Are they still doing it? Is it called Snapticles or something? I don't know. Yeah, these stupid glasses. Like what? just what? What? I don't even know where to start, and it shoots the video in a circle because it's cooler. Oh, oh God, I cringed so much when I saw this news, and like that this was their grand plan: make some glasses that aren't as good as Google Glass that record video. What? Oh, it drives me nuts. Drives me. I don't even have words. I actually don't even have words, to be honest. I really don't. No. I just don't have any words. I'm sad that I invested everything. I want to open another short on Snapchat. In hindsight, my close on Microsoft was good. I probably should have closed an extra one. I considered it. First, solar's looking pretty good at the moment. Solar has just been performing outstandingly. Like, look at Solar Edge. There's a sentence that I had to cut because it didn't have enough room in the post that I made on yesterday about, you know, kind of like an overview of my portfolio and stuff. And one of the sentence that I cut was that you would be forgiven for thinking that there is absolutely no volatility or bear market or uncertain conditions in the stock markets at all if you only looked at solar companies, because they just keep going up. Target market, non-discrete Russian spies. Oh, that's brilliant. Neo is almost breaking out. Gasp. Gasp. I wouldn't call that breaking out as such. I should add Neo to my thing up here. Neo USD. So it's Bitfinex, Bittrex. Let's go with Bitfinex. Is Bittrex going to be higher volume though? Let's go and check on CoinMarketCap. Ooh, or on CoinLib, because I have it open and I'm purposely trying to boycott CoinMarketCap because they did a bunch of shady stuff in the past, and I really like this website. Where are we going? Neo. Neo exchanges. Binance is the big one. Massively over everything else. Let's see if I can find it on Binance then. I don't know if TradingView has Binance though. Oh, it does. Cool. So now we have Neo. Let's move that up with the rest of the cryptos. Very rarely use this little side panel to navigate through it, to be honest. I only really use it for the cryptos. Why did I leave it? Oh, there it is. You can go above XRP because you're better than XRP. Slightly. You're about as centralized, but no, I don't know. Let's see what let's just see what appears as we do a bit of drawing. Let's switch to a 1 day. Okay, there's gonna be nothing that appears on this one. Nothing obvious. Okay, 1 day maybe is a bit too much. 4 hours better. Okay, so that line's going absolutely nowhere useful. Let's see what else we can draw. Let's try drawing from down here and just sort of see what kind of an angle we get. Oh man, like there's no clear trend line here, unless I'm absolutely blind. There is no clear trend line here at all. Those are both useless. Okay, let's just go with the support resistance levels for now. So there's pretty clearly one here. Oh, I didn't select it because I'm a noob. Up a little bit. Where else? There's obviously going to be one here. Oh man, do I have to click this every time? That's going to get annoying. Weird, there's like two super close to each other. Not sure about that one actually. Let's leave that one for now. Well, there's definitely one down here. That'll do for now. At least I've got something. It's not enough data to do any like properly long-term analysis along here, trend line. That'll do. Neo BTC. Oh, so it's breaking out against Bitcoin. Okay. I do hope that eToro adds trading pairs for BTC to the cryptos because it would be useful. But I don't think it's that likely anytime soon. That's why I tend to look at everything USD. Oh, Neo BTC. So you think it's going to break out against Bitcoin? Okay, that makes more sense, to be honest. I definitely just typed Neo BTC. Let's have a look. Oh, it's down here. Huh. Wow, look at that. I remember that. I bought during this period, actually. My first buy was like here somewhere, I think. Oh, maybe it was afterwards, actually. It might have been afterwards. I think I might have bought around here. So I'm like break even. Although I think I sold it. Hmm. Interesting. And there's a pretty hard support at this level as well. There's support here that's very strong. And there's support here that's pretty strong. Is it going to break out or is it going to break down though? I'm not convinced, to be honest. I don't see a breakout as being that likely on this. 1 day chart, on the other hand, says that it could be. Daily chart looks quite nice. Parabolic SARS on side on daily as well. But only maybe for one more candle. How much is it likely to go up by? I don't know. There's nothing backing it up though. There's nothing backing it up. There's nothing backing up a move for Neo to be breaking out. Yeah, I'm skeptical. I don't know. Don't know if it's going to be enough. If it does break out, I guess it would have to break out to like this level. That would make the most sense for like a proper move, which is percentage-wise like 30%. That's substantial. Maybe I have to do some more TA on this later. Do some actual proper TA instead of just use my usual bullshittery. Yeah, Pivx is definitely breaking out. About time as well. I saw that earlier today, actually. I was looking at Pivx earlier today, and I was like, yeah, go Pivx. It deserves it. It's a great cryptocurrency. It actually is. It's one of the. It's like there's no way it shouldn't. Why is Veritasium higher than its fucking shitcoin? Ugh, makes me angry. What shit? Bitcoin Gold? Why are you still alive? Nobody uses you. Just leave. Just leave. So many. Oh, there's so many bad coins in the top still. Like it's definitely thinned out. There's definitely a lot better stuff up here now, but so much junk still. Oh, look at 0x. I bought a bit of that a couple of days ago. Nice. Big fan of 0x. Why? Why are you still alive? I realise I'm not ordered market cap at the moment. before someone mentions it. Yeah, big fan of Electronium. I'm not a fan of Electronium at all. I think it's terrible. Just to make sure that everyone is fully aware. Seems like $66 or so seems to be the ceiling for oil at the moment, from what I've seen. My choice of exchange for trading crypto, Binance. Binance is like head and shoulders above everything else at this point. I still think Bittrex is a decent exchange though. Yeah, Binance just smashes everything. I also use Bitfinex for a couple of things, but generally speaking, I've been trying to transition just everything towards Binance because I really actually trust Binance. And also, Binance has some nice perks. If you hold Neo on Binance, it will give you gas. That's nice. The way they handled the hack was extraordinary. BNB token is actually good and useful, and their plans for it, from what they've said, which is very little, seem super, super cool. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Binance. Big fan of Binance. I'm yet to use KuCoin, but I hear that that's good as well. There's some other exchanges starting up soon that look pretty okay as well. One called Metro something. Like I think their crypto is called MetroCoin or something, but that's just effectively another Binance. Like that's how their crypto is structured, same as Binance. No, my Square was at like 4% profit earlier. It's melting. Look at this. I'd be sitting pretty if I'd opened that short on Snapchat. Sad times. But I have too much money tied up elsewhere, unfortunately. I wanted to increase exposure to Sony. I wanted to increase exposure to Twitter. I'm determined not to give up on this Facebook short. This is just insurance. Although again, seems like my timing on it was pretty poor this time. I managed to short these quite successfully during the last little dip that the Nasdaq and Dow and everything took, but this time not quite so well. Yeah, BNB's up based off that news, I think. I actually have a decent amount of BNB. I have more BNB than I would ever use in exchange fees. But it's because I like their model and I trust them. Like they say that they will buy back their tokens, and I 100% believe them because they've done everything they said they would do so far. It's a good token. I mean, it's nuts actually. If you look on CoinMarketCap, BNB is really pretty high up now. Look at that, 19th place. I remember when this was just a tiny little upstart exchange, startup, and I was really skeptical of it, and I didn't join it at the start, and I wish I did. I wish I joined it a lot sooner, to be honest. Use that referral link, make some bare money. Mentions that's not that reassuring. Yeah, I think towards the end of this year is when we're going to see the first decentralized exchanges start to gain some popularity. So it's going to be really interesting looking at like ETHFinex, EOSFinex, Binance as they attempt to decentralize, Shapeshift, and some of the others, and see how they do. It's also pretty, I guess, it's pretty huge news, the ERC20 thing on Coinbase as well. Does Wesley ever trade any cryptos anymore? I don't think he does he? Oh my god, that so almost says wrecked. I wish it did. Wow, people think my portfolio looks bad. At least I've got a few greens. Ooh, that's painful. Oh no, Facebook was one of his major holdings. I am on the wrong screen. Sorry. Yeah, he still has a bunch of crypto. I thought he'd stopped trading crypto, but I guess maybe he was just buying some up on the way down, maybe. Oh, why did I change screen? I don't know why I did that. That was silly. I was already looking at it. No, he bought them right before the dip. Oh. But he doesn't have much. He doesn't have very much at all. He's just got like a little bit of exposure, basically. A lot of Dash. Interesting. I wonder how Liam's mix is on cryptos at the moment. I'm intrigued to see if he's still heavy on Ethereum. No, not so much. Mainly Bitcoin, actually, same as me. And quite even across Ripple, Ethereum, and Dash. No Neo, no Stellar. A lot of Litecoin as well. Binance does not currently allow you to deposit US dollars, but I think I remember them announcing that they will be allowing it soon and setting up proper USD pairs. But maybe I imagined that, or maybe I'm thinking of some. I'm getting these mixed up. I genuinely can't remember. Yeah, it's all your fault, last flow. Please, flow. It's all your fault. We all blame you. You are fully responsible. Go away. No, go away. Let's bring back my Bitcoin. Da, 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 da. That was sitting in no man's land at the moment. I'm not going to buy or sell during this period. I'm not opening any long or shorts here. Not worth it. Dash is a weird one. Dash is a really weird one. I actually don't know what to make of Dash's price movements recently. They suffered pretty poorly during the overall drop. Let's see if I can draw a nice trend line for them. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Let's see if I can draw a trend line for them, long-term one, just so I have a rough idea of where this should be going. See, if anything, like the fact that it's such a shallow support really gives me some confidence that Dash can't fall much further. That seems about right. So only really hit it back here, and then we've had a few stalks that have hit it. One here, and then one here. Do I need to draw in some more support levels? But there is one here, which is also where the stalk ended. Interesting. So Dash could be worth a buy potentially soon as well. I really trust some of these long-term trends. I know like this isn't super long-term, like it's going back to halfway through last year, which as we know is when the mania in crypto started. But I still think that when you look at how many people are actually involved in cryptocurrencies. Oh no, someone linked a bubble chart. Is this a bubble chart? Let's move it over here because I don't want it. Why are you open up here? Why is Nano open up there? Why are you open up there? Crazy. I'm so unprepared. Okay, let's move over here. Actually, you know what? I want it on this screen. Sorry. Play musical screens. I'm just going to move it to every screen and then decide where I'm going to read it on. That's my necklace if I'm here because I'm like, ugh. It's okay for charts because I only spend, like maybe 10 minutes at a time looking at a chart before I go back to my main screens. What am I looking at? Okay. I'm not sure what you want me to think about this. It's been coming for a long time, like especially on like spread betting and stuff. The amount of leverage that is used is insane. Binary options are banned. That's pretty big. But good. Binary options are fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. But like, I don't know if you guys have ever actually looked into them. It's insane. It's insane. So yeah, like none of this really surprises me, to be honest. eToro doesn't use more leverage than that anywhere really that I can think of. I think you can get up to 50 times leverage on Forex. I don't know. I've never used it. And I think anyone that uses that much leverage is mad anyway, to be honest. Yeah, honestly, don't really care about this news. If anything, I think it's a good thing. Remember, I'm partially responsible for eToro removing leverage on cryptocurrencies because I just said that it is insane, absolutely insane, like so risky for eToro as a company to offer that much leverage on cryptocurrencies and for people to be using it on cryptocurrencies when it's as volatile as it was. Those were the days, though. 2x leverage. Some people managed to keep that open for a long time on like Ethereum and stuff. Made a ridiculous amount of money. Forex is 400. Yeah, but who uses it? I wonder what leverage good going uses. Let's go and have a look. Let's go explore. Let's have a look at his portfolio. 5, 10, 2, 2. Who else is a good Forex trader? Let's look at KTFX. Lots of 10s. Yeah, I mean, 100 times is stupid. She's got it 25 times here. Why in HODL? I think that's the point. It's about protecting people. Anyone who is a serious trader, I don't think would go over 30. I really don't. It just tends to be the gamblers who use more, and that's what using that much leverage turns it into effectively. Like, on my positions, I only use leverage on things like indices. So I've got five times leverage on this, which is why it's down so much. It's not really down that much. It's down like 3.5% or something. I used 2x leverage on Facebook, short, which has come back to bite me. So again, this is in reality, had I used 1x leverage, I'd only be down 7% or whatever, which isn't too bad. I've used 5x leverage a couple of times on AMD, I think. But yeah, generally I avoid using leverage. I just think it's so risky for really no reason. Like, you can earn plenty of money without it. It limits you so much as well because of the fees, obviously. Which is why I'm a bit gutted by holding Facebook that long, and a bit on the fence about it because the fees for this will ramp up reasonably quickly. So it doesn't actually say what my overnight fee is. It says what my total fees are. It doesn't say what my overnight is. I think it's like 3 cents or something, or 2 cents. But like, that'll still add up. Like, if I hold that for a month, it's like $1. It's a whole dollar. And that's only on 2x leverage, obviously. I've never really been a big fan of Adobe, honestly. I don't know why. I actually genuinely don't know why. But I don't know. I think maybe I just don't know enough about it. It feels like they're quite old school in like their pricing strategies and stuff like that. Like, I know you can now, like, there is now some like subscribable option for stuff, which is good because I think subscription models appear to be the future for everything. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really on the fence about. Not even on the fence. I just feel about Adobe. I don't think I care enough to trade it. I don't think I care enough about it. It doesn't seem like it's a product that's really doing anything or going anywhere. They just kind of slowly upgrade it and add new bits and remove old bits. What will happen with my money if I close a concrete position because I started copying you at a better price? So you mean if you have copied me and let's say Bitcoin was $7,000 and now it's, let's say, $10,000, and you want to close some of the trades that were open for you at that price that are still negative for me, what will happen is basically the money will sit there until I close my trades. So I would not recommend doing it to all of those positions. I would recommend doing it maybe to 25 to 50% of them. And the reason for that is that it's unlikely that I will close them in the red. It's unlikely. And so you may as well wait for them to go green for me to close them. But at the same time, there is still a possibility, and you can just get yourself a guaranteed little bit of money and then wait. And sure, that money won't be doing anything, but you will have already made a nice little profit on it. So, not a big deal, right? That's the way I see it. Not to mention that, generally speaking, I don't hold positions for too long. I try and always keep my positions under 3 months in length at the longest, although I suspect a lot of these crypto positions will be a bit longer. They've become the standard requirement for any editor to know. Yeah, I can entirely believe that. And I mean, like, it's the same with Photoshop, really. But it's just not an industry that excites me, and I don't see that many trading opportunities that fit my style of trading, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not a person that invests in a company for slow, steady growth. That's why I don't really invest in retail, right? Because you could invest in something like Walmart or whatever and happily see them very slowly expanding and offering new services and products, for example. But they're not disruptive. They're not the people that are going to disrupt that industry. So I won't bother. And Adobe are a little bit better than that, but not enough for me to care, basically. Like my trading style is all about finding big new trends, I guess. New trends in technology, new trends in monetization. And Adobe just isn't that. So, and that's not, it's not a bad thing. It just means it's something that I won't trade, probably, unless I see something exciting happen. And as I said, it's not something I know that much about, I guess, because I don't use any of the products. Whereas like AMD and most of the companies I trade, I have used their products or I understand their products a lot. Whereas I just don't enough with them. Like Netflix, Amazon, Microsoft, First Solar, Square, Nvidia, SolarEdge, like all of these are companies that I actually have a decent amount of like passion towards some of what they're doing. Not all of what they're doing, but some of what they're doing. There's still a few exceptions. For example, McDonald's. But even McDonald's, they are innovative. They are the most innovative in that sector out of the big companies there by a long way. And yeah, it's why I like Tesla. Tesla are disruptive. They are disruptive, and they will remain disruptive for a long time, I think. Like when was it? Like 2015, I think. It wasn't long after that IPO where you had CNBC and everyone else saying, "Oh, it's no big deal. The car companies will just make their own, and they'll all, Tesla will be dead in a year or 2 years." And what's happened? Do you see any other electric vehicles that have been successful? Really? Like the Bolt, maybe. That's about it. That's about it. And even then, like that's not really been successful. Tesla have more electric cars on the road, I think. This isn't an actual statistic, but I'm willing to guess that this is probably accurate. I suspect that Tesla have more electric vehicles on the road than every other car company combined at the moment. I reckon that's true. I'm going to find out at some point because now I want to know, but it really would not surprise me if that is true. And everyone was saying, "Oh, it will take them a year to catch up, 2 years to catch up." And I looked at the cars that are coming out this year from Mercedes and stuff, and some of them are nice and some of them are decent, but they're not as good. They don't have as good range. They don't have as good acceleration. Um, they don't have charging as fast necessarily. Although Nissan and a few others are working on like a joint standard. Um, I'm paying attention to the space, and like I was invested in Volvo for some time because they seemed, and BMW, because both of those guys seemed like they were getting it and seemed like they were the first movers. But even they haven't kept up. They haven't caught up, and I don't think they're going to catch up for at least another year. At least another year. And by catch up, I mean catch up in terms of what they're offering in 2 years' time, because it's like a 2-year cycle for them to actually release the cars that they plan. But the ones that are coming out in late 2018 and 2019 will not be up to the same standards as even the Model 3, let alone the Model S or the new Roadster, for example. So that's my thoughts on it, I guess. Hey, I short Snapchat. They did innovate, but they didn't monetize. That's the problem. They had no strategy for it. And I was the same with Twitter for a very long time. I shorted Twitter a lot since their IPO. A lot. Um, but I also recognized when they began turning things around. Sure, their users stopped growing, but their monetization improved dramatically, and the user experience also improved. Chris, I haven't even pre-ordered one for myself, mate. You're not getting one. Not from me. I would love one of the new Roadsters. Leanne said I'm not allowed one though. Yeah, to be fair, like even if Jesse could drive, I suspect he'd be more of a Model 3 kind of person than a Roadster kind of person. Something that gets him from A to B and doesn't kill the planet in the process. It's been more than 26 minutes, thank you very much. What? Jesse is claiming that I pissed myself. I can't believe you put a toilet fucking command. What is it? Is it just uptime or something? No, or is it? Oh, it's a random number generator. Amazing. Brilliant. So basically, yes and no. In response to your question about the CFDs. So you asked basically how it works with eToro and CFDs. So basically, eToro have a trading team. They have relationships with various big liquidity providers for stocks, cryptocurrencies, everything. And if you place an order to buy a cryptocurrency or a stock, then they will go out and execute it. What they also do, though, is they don't necessarily match it one to one. It depends on what it is and the leverage and everything else like that that's involved. And obviously they batch things, but if, for example, the entirety of eToro decided that they wanted to go long on Snapchat, eToro would not go and spend all of their money long on Snapchat because they would hedge, because they have a bunch of traders effectively who are there to risk manage, so that if the majority of eToro users go with some pretty sketchy positions, then they will hedge against those sketchy positions if they see them as sketchy. But for the most part, they will buy what we want them to. And with cryptos, I believe it is entirely accurate. They buy exactly what we want, basically. As probably part of the reason that they wanted to remove leverage is so that they could offer that. Because if you remember, it happened at the same time, pretty much. They stopped offering leverage, and then not very long after that, they're like, by the way, you now own the underlying real cryptocurrency, unless you're short. So yeah, basically they're buying the underlying assets and selling them and shorting them and longing them and using whatever they feel is necessary. But they're also trying to reduce risk if there are positions that they think are risky. And they have some pretty experienced traders there to sort of monitor that, I guess. This all started because yesterday I went to the toilet 6 times in a 3-hour period. And Jesse and Leanne became obsessed with the fact that I probably have diabetes. Yet today I've been to the toilet once and I've drunk almost a full can of Monster. So, and I went to the toilet before that as well. So sorry, Jesse, but maybe I just was really, I don't know, really desperate last night. I don't know. Oh dear. It's already a stream meme. You've made it a meme. What's this guy's name? Bjorn something. Where is it? He's from Norway. It's got 5 copies. Loving life. Done very well this year. Nothing in his portfolio at the moment. Let's see what he did. 4 currencies. All forex. What leverage is he using? I can't find out because I can't click on them. That makes me sad. Why will eToro not tell me these things? That's interesting. It's hard to tell without seeing what leverage he uses if he's being a bit risky, but his risk score, max risk of 8. Yeah, see, it seems like he's being a bit risky, especially more recently. If he could bring that risk down, though, like if he just, I suspect he's probably using like 25 times or 50 times maybe leverage. If he brings that down a little bit. Yeah, but 2016 is a long time ago. Like, if you go to most popular investors' accounts, they've done stuff like that where they're kind of learning the limits and learning how the platform works and everything else. Like most PIs have had a bad year, like near the start. Like Good Going is a good example of that. And he said himself that it's basically just because he was playing around and trying to find where he felt comfortable. But yeah, he wiped his account twice fully, which is a bit scary. But look at that, minus 93%, plus 98%. What? That's crazy. But like you can see where he's experimented, and like this year he got it right, but was still too risky. And then this year he toned it down a bit, and now I think he's settled into the same sort of methodology as here, except that he's a little bit lower at the start of the year. Because to be fair, most of this year was Brexit. He got Brexit right, and he made a lot of money out of that. What? Why are you still dropping? I just bought more of you. Stop it. Twitter, come back. Come back. What do I want to do with this square position? I think I want to keep it open. Man, my short would be looking so nice right now. Why did I run out of money? I tried to buy there. That's where I tried to buy. I'd be 2% green on that trade now. I thought I had an extra amount, an extra order left in me still. The Sony one's doing okay. Why are you so low, AMD? Stop it. Just stop it. It's unbelievable the growth of these solar companies. It really is. Like I've been taking profit as it's been going up, and I'm just at the point I don't want to close anymore because I still think they've got more upside somehow. Like just insane. Like, actually look at this. You would be forgiven for thinking that these are cryptocurrencies. Like, look at that. Since 2017, this has probably outperformed some cryptocurrencies. Since the start of 2017. That's nuts. Where's the measure tool on here? Let's measure it on here. I'm just intrigued. Okay, so I'm going to measure from like top of that candle to the top of this candle. 336% for holding for 1 year and 4 months. Man, that's good. And unfortunately, I actually wasn't too aware of Solar Edge at all back here. First Solar I knew about, but Solar Edge I didn't really know very much about, so I had to do a bit more digging and find out what it is they actually do. But have I used the ADX indicator? I don't know what it is, so that probably means no. We don't know your AUM anymore. Can't say the meme. I can show you my AUM. I think it's about 20 million or so at the moment. Yeah, just under 21 million. Oh, last 30 days hasn't been good. Looks like it's mainly due to people leaving. It's funny how it goes though, because like some people are leaving while new people are joining and copying open trades at this point. A lot of them, I think. It did go from 42 to 12, yeah. Nice cup and handle. It could be. A rather large cup and handle. See, the funny thing is, like, I definitely feel like I could just say any sort of random thing, and Jesse would just be like, "Oh, that must be a trading pattern." He so often comes over and is like, "Oh, see the eagle flag formation? Yeah, that's looking pretty good." A couple of guys on the Discord did a good camel formation the other day in Bitcoin. That was nice. I enjoyed that. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Yeah, the camel formation and the McDonald's formation. Here you go. Here's the camel. I like that he's smiling. I think that's a strong indicator. Yeah. I can close that now. And of course, that was followed up by the McDonald's formation as well. Interesting that the McDonald's showed up on a chart that wasn't McDonald's. Found that pretty exciting. Also, like the swirly lines that are going on inside it. Yeah, I like that moving average as well. I might adopt it. It's quite cool. The thing is, it's bad though because I only want to adopt it because it looks cool, not because it's useful. I mean, like, I guess, yeah, I guess you could possibly make it look a bit different, but effectively all it seems to be is just a bunch of moving averages at very slight offsets. The best way to add money to me is to just use add funds. For other people, that's probably different though. I would also suggest, of course, as I always do, making sure that you have a good diversified portfolio, which I think my second account is almost a good example of now. So this is my second account, and yeah, you can see how mixed up it is. So I copied this guy pretty recently. He's already green, so I'm happy about that. He seems pretty good actually. This guy. Did a bit of digging into him. But yeah, so you can see I copy a bunch of people, copy a copy fund. Typical, got loads of crypto exposure. Probably will go and buy even more of the dip at some point. Potentially. But yeah. For me, just add funds. I don't know if I did the exclamation mark the right side here. Isn't it meant to be equals and then exclamation mark? Oh no. You can tell I'm not a programmer. Equals exclamation mark. Does it depend on the language? Oh, I think exclamation mark first is correct. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thanks for clarifying that, Chris. I wasn't sure. I was like, I want this to be a different person called Killian. Jesse knows who I want it to be. But he's not from Belgium. There's a YouTube channel called The Killian Experience, and it is fantastic. And you all need to watch it. Especially the video about Overwatch. How to hack Overwatch. It's just amazing. Outstanding. Thought Bitcoin is a crypto. Oh. I don't know if this person is trolling me or if they genuinely have no idea. Wow. Why don't you own any Bitcoin, you mad person? I think there's absolutely. I don't actually care if people are only interested in like win or lose everything. There is no excuse not to have Bitcoin in your portfolio at this point. There's absolutely no excuse. Anyone who is investing in cryptocurrency and doesn't own any Bitcoin is fundamentally underinformed about cryptocurrency. That is the bottom line. At the end of the day, Bitcoin is the most widely adopted, the most well-known, the most successful in terms of security and achieving what it wanted to achieve. Sure, it has some scaling problems, but that was an interesting last 12 months. Why would you not have Bitcoin? I don't understand it. Like the people that come on this platform buy 100% Ripple, 100% XLM, Neo, whatever they find that is the newest. Like it's just going to replace Bitcoin. Like that's not how it works. TCP/IP is not the perfect protocol, but it was the first mover. It was the first to gain wide adoption, and so it survived. Facebook is not the perfect social network. Sometimes you have a Facebook that will disrupt a MySpace, but guess what? There's plenty of other social networks that are better than Facebook that did not surpass Facebook. Insane. Yeah, Bitcoin's still a gateway currency, but it still will be after then as well. At the end of the day, like it's just been around so long. It's so much more trusted than all of the other cryptocurrencies. Nothing else compares in terms of trust. Litecoin is probably the next closest, and even then, it's so much more volatile. Like its influence could definitely dampen, but it could also grow stronger, I think. I do not have it either. I'm overexposed to everything. Hey, the petro is illegal to own if you are an American citizen. And debatably so is NEM because it uses it. Which is very funny. It probably would move the market, but I would also probably get in quite a lot of trouble. I also think that I would probably end up being the bag holder of that move. This square is getting tempting to sell, but I only have one position. Let's have a look. I'm going to set a take profit on it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set a TP. That's a buy. I don't want to do a buy. I'm going to set a trading stop loss. I think I'm pretty much happy with where everything else is. Hilariously, I'm going to have to up my default take profits on here sometime soon. It was a murder scene. I don't know what your username is. Otherwise, I would have looked it up. I don't think Bitcoin's a dinosaur. Like it kind of is. It's got plenty of problems. But as I said, so does TCP/IP. So does a whole heap of stuff. I don't think Bitcoin will be the backbone of money. as a cryptocurrency. But I think it will become the gold of cryptocurrency. It will become a de facto store of value cryptocurrency. I don't think it's disappearing from that. I don't think Bitcoin can die anymore. Possibly with quantum stuff, but even then, you can just change the algorithm to something that's a bit more resistant. Did I type it wrong? Oh, I did type it wrong. Whoa, your Nintendo's doing good. It's 5% as well. Can't complain. I do like your clean percentages. They are beautiful. You definitely should buy some Bitcoin though. Maybe wait until we see which way it's going from this current move first, just to be safe. How's my Ethereum position doing? Oh, we're green. Got a little bit green. If I had a stop loss, I'd set it. I probably wouldn't set it yet, but I'd probably set it soon. Let's go and have a look at it. See how it's looking on its chart. Ethereum. Let's put it on 1 hour. The question is, so the parabolic SAR has flipped. We're currently at this resistance level. If we continue breaking through this resistance level, then I think up to here is pretty viable. In theory, though, this move should continue up past this resistance level, past this one, up here somewhere. But, as we can see along here, it hasn't been near the top of this for some time. So probably a safe place would be here-ish. So maybe just before the resistance kicks in. That's where a stop loss would be super useful. Super useful. Because if it gets into no man's land here, the temptation to sell, if it gets to 3 AM or something, is going to be high. It's going to be very high. We're also halfway up on the RSI on the 1 hour chart now. Plenty of room left on the 4 hour. Let's have a look at the 1 day. Barely moved so far. If I could invest in just one crypto, what would it be? If it was me, personally, at this point in time, with the amount of money I have, if I withdrew all the rest of my money and I didn't have to put all of it in, then it would be EOS. But as someone who, for example, cannot really afford to lose the money that they invest, then I would put it in Bitcoin. But after Bitcoin, it would probably be EOS still. For now. No, my trade's gone red, guys. Help. No, not really. It'll be fine. No, probably not VeChain. I think VeChain's risky. Inherent bit of lack of trust in VeChain. Starting today, yes, amazing. Shame they won't be able to stop all of the bots because there's just so many of them. I would like to hear my thoughts on why I'm so bullish on EOS. because they've followed through on everything that they said they would do, even though it was very sketchy at the start. They've still got a lot of room to grow because they're clearly going to be competing with Ethereum to a certain extent. They have a lot of dApps already announced / moving to it. They have a massive $1 billion VC fund for cryptos that want to build on top of EOS, the projects that want to build on top of EOS, which also means that they don't have to ICO, which is good because ICO regulations could change. Yeah, I mean, the technology just looks decent so far. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect. It's not the most decentralized cryptocurrency ever, but I think it's still decentralized. It's still decentralized enough. It's decentralized enough. It's just a good step forward, I think. I think for the next year, it'll be the biggest winner of the year. One of like out of the major cryptos, out of like anything within the top 20, it'll be the biggest winner. Probably. It depends when you're measuring from though, because like obviously since I bought in shortly after the ICO, it's performed very, very well. I like Dash. VeChain, I don't know what it is about VeChain, but I just have a slight distrust. I don't know why. In my head, it's because there's so much hype around it. There's so many newbie investors that are into VeChain. When the big craze was going on in like November, December, everyone was talking about XRP, everyone was talking about Verge, and everyone was talking about VeChain. And VeChain was actually and Tron. And VeChain was the legit project out of all of those, the most legit project out of all of those. But there's a lot of idiots that have invested in it. A lot of people that don't know what they've invested in. So I guess it's the market I don't trust more than the actual team. It's a bit like what happened with IOTA. It's a bit like what will inevitably happen with EOS, I think. It comes and goes in waves, I think. But like generally, if the mainstream public who don't understand cryptocurrencies and just go on YouTube for their trading advice, and don't know any TA or any how to like look at fundamentals or anything like that, then yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like box mining, I love the guy, but I also don't trust him that much either. To be honest, like he's okay, but I think he's quite surface level as well in terms of how much he really digs into some projects. And like I forgive him for it because I know how difficult it is to look into every project. And like he churns out content every day. But I don't know. Yeah, it's the market that concerns me about VeChain. I actually have a little bit of VeChain. I think I have a bit of VeChain, but I'm just concerned about who owns the coins and if they have any idea what they're doing. Because it's so easy to then have a run on the banks if something goes bad, effectively, a run on the coin. Everyone panic selling it. I've never been a big fan of ETHOS, actually. There was another one that I saw present a while ago that I thought was pretty good. It wasn't ETHOS, but it was doing the same thing. Ethos. Do you call it ethos or ethos? Ethos, I guess, makes more sense. But I think the OS is like actually what it is. So it's an operating system. Sort of. It's not really an operating system. It's like a UI, but whatever. Because Ethereum is the operating system. Well, I think it's time to close out the stream. Although our viewership's actually stayed reasonably strong throughout this, which is kind of surprising, I guess. I don't know. Normally it tapers off a little bit towards the end. People get bored of me, perhaps. But we covered some decent content. We talked about my willingness to just hold this all the way until here on Facebook. I know you can't see it because it's like on my top screen, but whatever. It's only a little summary. We talked about AMD. We talked about cryptos quite a lot. Talked about Microsoft a bit, I think. Did we talk about Microsoft? I don't know if we did, actually. We did some rather basic TA, so I'm kind of happy. Waiting to hear something reassuring about Bitcoin. I don't have any real, I'm not going to try and paint a pretty picture for you. At the end of the day, we are at a decisive crossroads on Bitcoin, and we don't necessarily know which way it's going to go. We don't. That's the truth of it. So you can see here, this is Bitcoin. We're a 4-hour chart. We're in the middle of the RSI and the 4-hour. We're stuck between these two trend lines and have been for some time. And this one is like the master one that we've never broken out of on the top side. You go to our 1 day, it's basically the same story. Still in the middle on the RSI. We're running out of time because something will happen before we get to, certainly before that we get to this point, but probably before we get to this point as well. So we'll see. Fundamentally, it should be stable or going up. In reality, markets are imperfect things. So maybe there's a lot of people that want to short it further and buy some cheap Bitcoin once they've got it down to a price they like. Who knows? But basically, the next 2 to 3 weeks, really depends when it happens, is when we will see something happen, I think. Yeah. So that's it. Soz. Cool. Right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you guys next time on Friday when I will stream again. I might do an evening stream on Friday instead of one during the market open. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to kind of like have 2 slightly different timed ones. But anyway, I'll see you guys on Friday. Thanks for watching. Bye.